Imagine waking up every morning with legs that feel strong, steady, and full of energy. This is what you can expect from the top 7 vitamins that strengthen your legs. There will be no more fatigue in the muscles, no more painful cramping, and no more anxiety about losing your balance or falling. Nutrition is the key to maintaining your independence, self-confidence, and active lifestyle for as long as possible. And now we are going to shed light on the 7 most potent vitamins and minerals that will assist you in maintaining the strength and unstoppable power of your legs. These vital nutrients have the potential to make a significant impact on how you move and feel on a daily basis. They can contribute to the enhancement of muscular function, the preservation of bone density, and the improvement of circulation. Therefore, if you enjoy dancing, taking a stroll in the park, or simply maintaining your independence, this film is perfect for you. When we get started, I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where you are coming from today. Leave a remark below, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. It is also important to remember to click the subscribe option and enable notifications. Together, let's forge a future that is both healthier and more robust. First, let's talk about vitamin D. As we get older, our bodies are going to go through changes that are unavoidable. There is a decrease in the bulk of the muscles, the density of the bones decreases, and motions that were once uncomplicated can become progressively difficult. There are several factors that contribute to this decrease, but one of the most ignored is a lack of vitamin D. It is not just about having fragile bones. In order to maintain the strength, balance, and functionality of the legs, this vitamin provides an essential component. In this article, we will go into the reasons why vitamin D is the most important nutrient for leg strength in the elderly, as well as how ensuring that you get enough of it can positively impact your mobility and overall well-being. As we get older, our skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunshine slows down and becomes less effective. To make matters even more difficult, a significant number of elderly people spend less time outside as a result of mobility restrictions, changes in lifestyle, or concerns about skin damage. What is the end result? A common deficiency that has the effect of gradually reducing muscle strength, resulting in legs that are weak and unstable. There is a direct correlation between low levels of vitamin D and muscle weakness, as well as an increased risk of falling in senior people, according to numerous studies. In point of fact, a study that was published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism discovered that elderly people who had adequate levels of vitamin D had stronger muscular fibers, increased coordination, and enhanced balance, which made them less likely to sustain injuries and fractures. Those who were deficient, on the other hand, experienced a rapid loss of muscle mass, which made even the most fundamental activities, such as climbing stairs or rising up from a chair, more difficult. The absorption of calcium and the maintenance of healthy bones are both essential, but vitamin D is about more than just those things. Through the enhancement of protein synthesis and the improvement of neuromuscular transmission, this powerhouse vitamin has a direct impact on the function of individual muscles. You can think of it as a source of fuel for the muscles in your legs. Without it, they have a difficult time performing at their best. A significant amount of research has demonstrated that vitamin D plays a significant part in the maintenance of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are essential for maintaining balance and quick reactions. When the legs are able to react quickly, in the event that their equilibrium is disrupted, these fibers contribute to the prevention of falls. These muscle fibers degrade when they are not provided with sufficient amounts of vitamin D, which results in shorter reaction times, weaker muscle contractions, and an increased level of risk of injury. In addition, it has been discovered that vitamin D can reduce inflammation in muscular tissues, which can effectively alleviate the persistent pain and discomfort that a significant number of elderly people suffer in their legs. The fact that maximizing vitamin D levels can lead to significant relief for people who suffer from leg discomfort that is not explained, cramps that occur frequently, or stiffness may come as a surprise to many who experience these symptoms. If vitamin D insufficiency is ignored, it will not only result in legs that are weaker, but it will also increase the risk of a variety of major health problems. Is it the most concerning? Fractures and osteoporosis are 2 conditions, without An adequate amount of vitamin D, calcium is unable to be absorbed in the correct manner, which results in bones that are brittle and extremely prone to breaking. A simple slip and fall could result in a severe fracture, which would have a significant impact on the individual's mobility and freedom. In addition to affecting bones and muscles, a lack of vitamin D has been associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive loss, and a diminished immune system against illness. If senior citizens fail to get enough vitamin D in their diet, they may not only experience difficulties with leg weakness, but they also have a greater risk of developing chronic illnesses, which further diminish their quality of life. In that case, what is the answer? The good news is that maintaining appropriate levels of vitamin D is not only easy, but also has the potential to bring about life-changing benefits. Here are the most efficient methods for increasing your vitamin D levels and maintaining the strength and stability of your legs. Sun exposure has occurred. A natural boost can be obtained by spending as little as 15 to 30 minutes in direct sunlight, especially very early in the morning or very late in the afternoon. The best way to increase absorption is to expose your arms and legs. However, you should be careful not to apply sunscreen because it can inhibit the production of vitamin D. Foods that are high in vitamin D. Although the consumption of food alone might not be sufficient to fulfill daily requirements, the consumption of fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, fortified dairy products, egg yolks, and mushrooms can make a contribution to overall intake. Add-on medicines. Vitamin D supplements are needed for a large number of elderly people, particularly those who spend the least amount of time outside. For optimal bone and muscular health, the majority of specialists recommend taking between 800 and 1,000 international units, IU, per day. However, patients who have significant deficiencies may require greater dosages under the guidance of a medical professional. Obtaining clarification regarding your vitamin D levels can be accomplished with the use of a straightforward blood test. Because of the significant role that vitamin D plays in preventing fractures and falls, many medical professionals now make it a normal practice to assess for vitamin D deficiency in elderly patients. 2. It is calcium. Senior citizens, in contrast to younger people whose bones are still in the process of actively rebuilding, experience a steady loss of bone mass, which makes them more prone to fractures. The legs are especially vulnerable to the dangers of this. Among the most serious injuries that older persons might have, hip fractures, femur breaks, and stress fractures in the lower limbs are among the most widespread. When bones do not have the requisite calcium reserves, even a slight fall that may have been harmless when the individual was younger can result in months of recuperation or perhaps permanent loss of mobility. However, calcium doesn't just play a part in bone strength. Moreover, it plays a significant role in the contraction of muscles. Taking a step or getting up from a chair are just two examples of the many movements that are dependent on the intricate interaction that occurs between calcium ions and muscle fibers. Calcium exerts a stimulating effect on muscle contraction, which results in movement that is both smooth and under control. It is possible for muscles to cramp, feel weak, or fail to create the force necessary to maintain stability if they do not receive an adequate amount of calcium. This is the reason why a significant number of people who are deficient in calcium have leg cramps on a regular basis, sluggish mobility, and an overall reduction in their muscle endurance. It is important to ensure that your body is receiving an adequate. Additionally, foods such as leafy greens, kale, bok choy, almonds, tofu, sardines, and plant-based milks that have been fortified with calcium are good sources of calcium. Variety is your best bet. By consuming calcium from a variety of sources, you can ensure that your body will absorb it consistently and that your bones will be well maintained. On the other hand, calcium obtained solely from food might not always be sufficient, particularly for people who have dietary limitations or experiences difficulties with absorption. This is where calcium supplements can be of great assistance, particularly when taken with vitamin D, which is known to improve the body's ability to absorb calcium. To be sure, more is not necessarily better. Despite the fact that calcium is necessary, consuming an excessive amount of it, especially through supplements, can result in calcium deposits in the arteries, kidney stones, and digestive problems. Achieving the ideal equilibrium is of the importance. It is advised that those aged 65 and over consume between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams of calcium on a daily basis. Calcium should ideally be obtained from a combination of natural foods and other supplements when they are required. Movement is another important component in the effectiveness of calcium, in addition to the consumption of calcium. Exercises that involve weight-bearing, such as walking, resistance training, and even light running, are known to encourage bone remodeling and assist in directing calcium to the areas of the body that require it the most, namely the bones and muscles. Without physical activity, even a sufficient amount of calcium consumption is not enough to completely strengthen the skeletal system. Calcium consumption that is neglected does more than only impair bone density. People are deprived of their freedom of movement, their capacity to participate in activities that they enjoy, and their ability to keep their independence through this. Strong bones and muscles that are able to operate properly are the foundation of a life that is full of mobility, stability, and self-assurance. Calcium is essential for both of these aspects of existence. 3. It is vitamin B12. Despite the fact that calcium and protein are the primary topics of discussion when it comes to leg strength, extremely few people are aware that vitamin B12 plays an essential part in the functioning of the neuromuscular system. In addition to ensuring that the electrical impulses that flow down your spinal cord and into your legs continue to be powerful and accurate, it is responsible for maintaining the health of your nerves. If you do not have it, your muscles will not receive the appropriate signals, which will result in weakness, instability, and a gradual loss of control over movement. It should come as no surprise that one of the most prevalent symptoms of a lack of vitamin B12 is a sensation of fullness and fatigue in the legs, which is frequently accompanied by tingling or numbness or both. But this is where the issue lies. The prevalence of vitamin B12 insufficiency among people of advanced age is frighteningly high. The ability to absorb vitamin B12 is heavily dependent on the function of the digestive system, in contrast to other vitamins that can be stored in fat or absorbed through a wide variety of foods. When it comes to extracting B12 from food, the body needs a certain amount of stomach acid, as well as a specific protein known as intrinsic factor. In addition to the fact that our stomach acid production diminishes with age, illnesses such as gastritis, acid reflux, and even the use of antacids for an extended period of time can further hinder absorption. The result is a gradual but consistent depletion of this vital component, which is compounded by the fact that a significant number of elderly people consume diets that are deficient in foods that are rich in B12. Having a lack of vitamin B12 can have far-reaching repercussions, not only a sensation of weakness. B12 deficiency that is not treated can result in irreparable nerve damage, which can have an impact on a person's balance, coordination, and reflexes. According to research, a significant number of elderly people who have symptoms such as frequent falls trouble walking, or a feeling that their legs are not functioning as well as they once did, are actually experiencing the neurological impacts of a lack of B12. As a result of the slow nature of the decline, it is sometimes disregarded as a natural part of the aging process, despite the fact that it is fully reversible. Restorative B12 levels, on the other hand, have the potential to significantly improve both mobility and energy levels. According to a number of studies, senior citizens who make the necessary adjustments to their deficiencies see significant increases in their strength, endurance, and leg function. The question is, where does this essential vitamin originate from? To a much greater extent than the majority of other nutrients that can be gotten from plants, vitamin B12 is virtually solely contained in goods derived from animals. Shellfish, particularly clams and liver, which are among the richest sources, are among the finest sources. Other sources include lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy products, and shellfish. The consumption of B12 fortified foods, such as cereals and plant-based milk, or the consumption of B12 supplements becomes crucial for individuals who adhere to plant-based diets or who have difficulty absorbing the vitamin. What is the good news? Since excess levels of vitamin B12 are eliminated through urine, it is considered to be one of the safest vitamins to take as a supplement. Taking higher dose B12 pills or receiving periodic injections can be beneficial for a significant number of elderly people, particularly those who have trouble absorbing the vitamin through the consumption of food alone. By performing blood tests on a regular basis, it is possible to help guarantee that appropriate levels are maintained and to prevent the gradual deterioration in leg function that is so frequently associated with deficiency. The real takeaway, however, is as follows. The concept of having strong legs encompasses more than just physical strength. Efficiency of the neurological system, reaction time, and coordination are all factors that are considered. In spite of the amount of physical activity you engage in, if your nerves are not functioning properly, your legs will not react in the manner that they should. Because of this, ensuring that you have enough levels of B12 is one of the most underutilized, yet effective techniques for protecting your mobility and quality of life as you get older. 4. Is magnesium. Magnesium plays a function behind the scenes in every movement that you take, ensuring that your muscles receive the signals they require to contract and relax in a properly coordinated manner. Through its role as the master regulator of muscular function, it helps to prevent spasms, reduce fatigue, and support endurance. The restless leg syndrome and frequent leg cramps that occur during the night are two of the most prevalent signs of magnesium insufficiency, but they are also one of the least recognized symptoms. It is common for elderly people to suffer unexpected and painful muscle spasms in their legs, particularly during the night. These contractions can be quite disruptive to sleep and make it difficult to recover from activities of daily living. This is not merely a source of discomfort. It is an indication that the body is having difficulty efficiently regulating the relaxation of the muscles. Magnesium is a crucial nutrient for individuals who battle with muscle tension and involuntary spasms because it helps to relax nerve signals that are hyperactive and prevents muscles from suddenly contracting. Nevertheless, magnesium's function is not limited to the muscles. It is also essential for maintaining healthy joints and bone density. Calcium is frequently the focus of attention when it comes to bone health, yet calcium cannot perform its function adequately without magnesium. Not only does this mineral aid control calcium transport, but it also ensures that calcium is effectively absorbed into bones. This prevents calcium from being deposited in soft tissues, where it might potentially lead to muscle stiffness and joint discomfort. Studies have shown that a higher magnesium intake is associated with increased bone strength and a decreased incidence of fractures in elderly persons. As a result, magnesium is an essential component of overall mobility. The fact that magnesium is readily depleted as a result of stress, drugs, and poor eating habits is one of the most significant motivating factors for the prevalence of magnesium shortage. Medications that reduce magnesium levels are taken by a significant number of elderly people. These medications include diuretics, proton pump inhibitors, and some blood pressure medications. When combined with diets that are poor in foods that are rich in magnesium, the outcome is widespread shortage, which slowly but surely erodes strength, endurance, and flexibility from the body. This is the reason why many elderly people endure a gradual loss of stamina, during which they walk shorter distances, climb stairs more slowly, and feel exhausted after engaging in activities that are very basic. No, it's not simply old age. It's also a deficiency in the nutrients that are necessary to fuel performance. Magnesium replenishment can have an almost instantaneous impact on leg health, including the alleviation of cramps, the enhancement of energy levels, and the restoration of a sense of ease whenever activity is performed. Leafy greens, nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains are some of the best natural sources of magnesium that may be found in various foods. Magnesium is found in particularly high concentrations in foods such as pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, black beans, and avocados. These foods provide a natural means of preserving the health of both the muscles and the bones. However, magnesium supplements can be an efficient alternative for individuals who have difficulty obtaining sufficient magnesium through diet alone. Magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate are particularly useful because they are more readily absorbed by the body during digestion. The astonishing transformation that takes place as a result of magnesium levels being restored will be described. The legs of senior citizens who previously experienced feelings of heaviness and sluggishness now respond with newfound vitality. Those individuals who have experienced frequent muscle cramps or stiffness have reported experiencing relief, which has enabled them to sleep better and move more freely. In addition, magnesium helps regulate the neuromuscular connections that are responsible for steady movement, which results in improvements in balance and coordination. 5. The element potassium. Imagine waking up in the morning, getting out of bed and immediately experiencing a cramp in your calf. Can you imagine this happening? Does this sound familiar to you? Cramps in the muscles are one of the most prevalent symptoms that can be caused by low potassium levels. This is due to the fact that potassium plays a crucial role in the regulation of muscle activity, assisting in the maintenance of fluid equilibrium both within and outside of muscle cells. When the levels of potassium in the body drop too low, muscles contract involuntarily, which can cause painful cramps, particularly in the legs at times. In addition, these cramps can be more than simply an irritation for elderly people who may already have decreased circulation or muscle mass by the time they experience them. Their effects can be incapacitating. Cramping in the muscles, however, is only the beginning. Has it ever occurred to you that after standing for a time, your legs began to shake? It's also possible that you've noticed an increase in stiffness while you walk. Potassium is the element that is accountable for the transmission of messages between nerves and muscles, which guarantees uninterrupted and well-controlled actions. When levels are low, the communication between your brain and the muscles in your legs becomes less efficient. This can result in shakiness, weakness, or even difficulties elevating your feet properly, which is something that can dramatically increase the danger of falling. And let's face it, preventing falls is of the utmost importance for senior citizens. Unexpectedly, potassium also plays a part in the maintenance of strong bones, in addition to its involvement in muscles. It helps neutralize acids in the body, which, over time, can cause bone density to decrease, bone density loss. According to a number of studies, consuming a diet that is high in potassium can reduce the rate of bone loss, hence lowering the chance of developing osteoporosis and maintaining the structural integrity of the legs. Additionally, potassium is not only concerned with the function of the muscles in your legs, it also plays a role in ensuring that the muscles and bones in your legs work together in a harmonious manner. Now comes the most important question. In order to supply your legs with the necessary amount of potassium, what steps should you take? To our great good fortune, nature has bestowed upon us a multitude of delectable foods that are wealthy in potassium. Although bananas might be the first thing that springs to mind, however, this is only the beginning of the list. Oranges, sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, and beans are all excellent sources of potassium. Sweet potatoes are rich in potassium. Even something as basic as a roasted potato with the skin on might deliver more potassium than a banana. The most important thing is to make sure that your muscles and bones are receiving constant nourishment by include a wide mix of these foods in your daily diet. Supplements may appear to be a simple solution for individuals who have difficulty obtaining potassium solely via the consumption of food. What is the maximum amount of potassium that you require? For adults, the recommended daily consumption is 2,600 ml for women and 3,400 ml for males. Males should consume 3,400 mg. Generally speaking, this quantity can be accomplished by consuming a diet that is well balanced and abundant in fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Nevertheless, people who have health issues that affect potassium levels, such as kidney disease or high blood pressure, should carefully monitor their consumption and consult with a physician to establish the appropriate quantity of potassium to consume. 6. Vitamin K. Calcium and vitamin D are typically the first vitamins that come to mind when people think of vitamins that are necessary for keeping bones strong. But these nutrients are unable to perform their functions effectively if vitamin K is not present. Calcium is deposited in bones where it should be, rather than collecting in arteries or soft tissues, where it can lead to stiffness, poor circulation, and even cardiovascular disease. Vitamin K is the crucial connection that guarantees calcium. K is deposited in bones where it should be. To put it another way, vitamin K performs the function of a traffic controller, directing calcium to the appropriate locations and ensuring that your legs remain mobile and structurally sound. This is of considerably greater significance for people who are getting older. According to a number of studies, those who consume a greater quantity of vitamin K have bones that are more robust, a reduced chance of fracture, and improved overall bone health in comparison to those who consume a smaller quantity. Because vitamin K activates osteocalcin, a protein that binds calcium to the bone matrix, bones become denser and more resistant to breaking. This is because osteocalcin is caused by vitamin K. The function of vitamin K, however, does not end there. Additionally, it is a nutrient that is necessary for the proper functioning of muscles and joints. Many individuals fail to see that, in order to have healthy legs, it is necessary to have not only strong bones, but also flexible joints and muscles that are in good working order. It has been demonstrated that vitamin K can reduce inflammation in the joints, which can slow the course of osteoarthritis and alleviate knee stiffness, which is a typical complaint among people who are 60 years of age or older. It is possible that vitamin K is the missing mineral that might assist reduce discomfort and keep you moving freely. If your knees hurt when you move, or if you feel stiff after sitting for an excessive amount of time, vitamin K could be the solution. Having weaker leg muscles is frequently associated with having poor balance, having difficulties walking, and having a higher chance of falling. New research reveals that vitamin K can assist sustain muscle strength and coordination, particularly in adults who are getting older. It accomplishes this by controlling the amount of calcium that is present within the muscle cells, ensuring that the contractions are performed correctly and preventing the kind of disorganized motions that might result in instability. The type of vitamin K1 that is most frequently found in plants is found in foods such as spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and Brussels sprouts. These foods are among the richest sources of vitamin K1. A more potent form of the vitamin, known as vitamin K2, can be discovered in fermented foods such as natto, fermented soybeans, aged cheeses, and certain animal products such as egg yolks and liver. The fact that K2 is active in the body for a longer period of time and performs an even more significant function in directing calcium into bones rather than arteries is one of the reasons why it is particularly useful. If you want to improve your vitamin K levels in a natural way, the most effective technique is to increase the amount of fermented foods and green vegetables that you consume. Even something as simple as including a serving of kale in your smoothie every day, or including a side of spinach that has been sautéed in your dinner, can make a significant effect. On the other hand, supplementation might be an option for those who have trouble absorbing vitamin K from food, particularly those who suffer from digestive issues or who are taking antibiotics for an extended period of time. However, exercising caution is essential. It is imperative that you get the advice of a medical practitioner before increasing your consumption of vitamin K if you are currently taking blood-thinning drugs such as warfarin. Vitamin K plays a part in the process of blood clotting and has the potential to interfere with these medications. 7. The B6 vitamin. The majority of people are unaware of the significant role that vitamin B6, sometimes referred to as pyridoxine, plays in the development of leg strength and the function of muscles. Additionally, B6 is needed for maintaining nerve function, aiding muscle regeneration, and ensuring that the body properly utilizes protein to grow and maintain muscle mass. Although many nutrients help to mobility, B6 is particularly important for these reasons. Simple motions such as getting up from a chair or walking upstairs can feel disproportionately exhausting if you do not have it. Even the strongest muscles can become weaker over time if you do not have it. The relationship that vitamin B6 has to nerve transmission and coordination is one of the features of vitamin B6 that is most frequently disregarded. It is possible for these impulses to become sluggish or misdirected when B6 levels are low. This can result in numbness, tingling, feelings, and even uneven walking patterns. However, in truth, their bodies are simply lacking the appropriate nutrients to sustain optimal neuromuscular function. This is a common misconception among older adults who mistake these symptoms for symptoms associated with aging-related muscle atrophy. Vitamin B6 plays an important role in avoiding muscle tiredness that is caused by inflammation, which is another important function as well. B6 helps control inflammatory responses in the body, which in turn reduces the discomfort that muscles experience and provides the legs with increased flexibility and resilience. An increase in the amount of vitamin B6 you consume could be a game changer for you if you have been experiencing persistent stiffness or slower recovery after engaging in physical exercise. Vitamin B6 is essential for the synthesis of red blood cells in addition to its role in the function of muscles. In addition to providing fuel for muscles and ensuring that they have the endurance necessary for continued exercise, these cells are responsible for transporting oxygen throughout the body. This might result in lower hemoglobin levels, which means that your muscles may not receive the oxygen they require. This can contribute to early weariness, heaviness, and decreased stamina. B6 deficiency can lead to lower hemoglobin levels. Your body may be trying to tell you that it needs more. Vitamin B6. If you have ever experienced an unusually high level of fatigue after engaging in light physical activity or going for brief walks, this vitamin is absolutely necessary. Where does it come from? B6 is fortunately abundant in a wide variety of foods that are both delicious and easily accessible. There are several excellent sources of protein, including poultry, fish, including salmon and tuna, bananas, potatoes, chickpeas, and cereals that have been fortified. By incorporating these items into your daily meals, you may naturally restore your B6 levels, which will promote neural function as well as muscle power. It is possible that individuals who have digestive difficulties, poor vitamin absorption, or dietary restrictions will require B6 supplementation in order to obtain adequate levels. It is important to note that the recommended daily consumption of vitamin B6 varies depending on age and gender. For example, women in their latter years normally require approximately 1.5 milligrams per day, while males require approximately 1.7 milligrams per day. Although it is typically safe to receive B6 from food, excessive consumption through high-dose supplements should be addressed with caution because excessive use over a prolonged period of time might lead to nerve damage. Your best bet is to concentrate on eating a well-balanced diet that is abundant in B6 sources. This will ensure a regular supply without exposing you to any unwanted hazards. In the event that you discovered this movie to be beneficial, kindly remember to click the like button. It enables us to provide you with content that is of greater value. We would appreciate it if you could leave a comment below and share your opinions, questions, or suggestions for the next topic that we should discuss. We adore it when you get in touch with us. Naturally, you should click the subscribe button and enable notifications so that you are never left out of the loop on our most recent health advice and insights. Continue to educate yourself, maintain your health, and we'll see you in the future video.